When it came to playing a game like Donkey Kong Country over here before it came out, there was really only one way to do it, and that was going to your favorite retail store like a Sears or a KB Toys or a Toys R Us and hoping that the Nintendo representative had shown up with an advanced cartridge so you could check it out and find out whether the game was for you. Other than that, you had to read magazines like Nintendo Power or Electronic Gaming Monthly in order to find out what the game was about and whether it was going to be worth your money. Those were the 16-bit days. In the 32-bit days, especially with the Sony PlayStation, things changed a little bit with the advent of the demo disc. For example, the first demo disc that I ever had came with a game called Ball Number One. You've probably heard of it. Ball Number One came with a little demo disc that was Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, that Final Fantasy VII. I knew that I was going to buy Final Fantasy VII anyway. I don't think that there was any question. But being able to play the game before it came out and being able to have some of that experience early on just really drove the hype ridiculously. Uh, I knew I was going to get the game before I played the demo. After the demo, I literally crossed days off on the calendar until the game came out and I could have it in my hands. So that was really a great vehicle to get people hyped, to get people excited, and also to let people play or experience the games early. On this demo disc, there was also a playable demo of Bushido Blade, which I am proud to say I still suck at to this day, as well as videos of Final Fantasy Tactics and Saga Frontier. So this is really the first of many demo discs to come. And what I want to do over the next few minutes is just share some of the ones that I have still in my library. They're not things that I catalog per se. They're not things that I tell people that I have, but still they're a nice part of history to say that I own, and every so often I'll go back and I'll play them just to remember what was. Unfortunately, demo discs are kind of a relic now because digital distribution and online marketplaces mean that rather than wait for a disc to come in the mail or spend the money to mint the disc, you can actually just download the stuff on demand, and that's that. So let's take a look at some demo discs. The first one here, which is this one, I don't know what's on it. Unfortunately, I got this disc. It was kind of left behind at a video game store, and I took it. The disc is beat up pretty good, but that's what one of the discs looked like. The PlayStation demo that I'm most proud to own is this PlayStation Underground demo right here. This is Underground number 2. And the reason that it's such a big deal is because, yeah, this is the Final Fantasy VII one. And if you take a look on the inside, right there, and I'll try and keep it so that it's out of the light, the Final Fantasy VII demo, which is basically the same one that was in Ball number 1, that's here. And over here, there are some additional demos as well as a really neat feature on Final Fantasy VII, like a featurette video. So Sony used to send these in the mail if you were part of PlayStation Underground, and it was easily one of the coolest things that Sony did at the time. Not all PlayStation Underground discs would come this neat, but a lot of them did, and it was a cool program to be a part of. We miss PlayStation Underground, at least I know I do. Squaresoft was also known for their demos. Not only did they do the Final Fantasy VII ones, but they did a Final Fantasy VIII demo. They also did this one right here, which is 1998 Collector's CD Volume 1, that has a Xenogears playable demo on it. Also has videos for Bushido Blade 2, Brave Fencer Musashi, and Final Fantasy VIII. So I think, if I remember right, and hopefully you guys can correct me in the comments, I think that the Final Fantasy VIII demo came with Brave Fencer Musashi. I think. I'm doing that off the top of my head, and I'm getting a little bit on the old side. So if I'm wrong, correct me. If I'm right, you can tell me. But that was neat as well. And then this guy right here, that's the Metal Gear Solid VR Missions demo. You probably thought that it was the original Metal Gear Solid demo. No, I don't have that one anymore. This one right here was significant because it came out at the time that I was managing a Funko-Land store in Springfield, Mass. And my district manager and I always used to have battles back and forth as to who could get high scores on certain missions. So I kept this disc as one of my memories from Funko-Land. It was a fun time. Then, during the PlayStation era, we got something called the Official PlayStation Magazine. And if you remember that, or were ever a subscriber, you remember that one of the really cool things about it, and maybe the reason you subscribed in the first place, was because you got PlayStation demo discs as part of the magazine. It would come on the inside. This one right here is Medieval 2, Speed Punks, NASCAR Rumble, Rugrats Studio Tour, and NCAA March Madness 2000 on it. Unfortunately, all of my old demo discs, or all of my PlayStation demo discs for the original PlayStation from that magazine are gone. This is the only one that I have because it's still sealed. But it was such a neat concept. I loved getting these. It easily justified whatever the annual subscription price was because you were getting 12 demo discs a month. And they were packed with all kinds of things, whether it was demos or videos. And then later on, when the PlayStation magazine started covering PlayStation 2 stuff, then you got demo discs that used to come in little pouches that look like this. This is the Mr. Mosquito one. And not only did you get playable demos on these, but you got videos. You got videos of the games that were coming out. You got behind the scenes featurettes. Like this Mr. Mosquito one here has featurettes for Star Wars Jedi Starfighter and Medal of Honor Frontline on it. Plus, there were little tips and tricks videos, and there were even downloads on here. This one has download cheats for State of Emergency, which I sadly still own. So I might actually have to look at that. But I actually have a whole bunch of these demo discs still in their sleeves, as you can see here. And some of the sleeves were really neat. There's a Tony Hawk one here. I have one for Rampage, The Getaway, NBA Street. That one looks like it's Prince of Persia, 007, Gran Turismo 4. I mean, just all kinds. And again, that justified the cost of the magazine at the time because demo discs were just packed full of stuff. And because we didn't have digital distribution at the time, it was really the best way to be able to experience these games and check out what was coming soon. And soon the in-store displays weren't as important because you were actually able to play the games at home and make better buying decisions or get excited by the time you got to the store. So those were the OPM demo discs. I also have some demo discs that I got either for pre-orders or from the mail. This here is Total Overdose. I'll kind of pull that closer. I've never played this demo. I've never played the game. I have heard some interesting things about it, but never played it. And come to think of it, I never even looked for it when I was hitting up GameStop, so I'm going to have to change that. But that's one that I have. What else do I have? Yes. I got this in the mail. This is the Dragon Quest VIII demo. I never opened it. I actually have Dragon Quest VIII in my library, so I don't need to open it. But that's kind of neat. This is interesting. This is the Burnout Revenge demo disc here. Now, Burnout Revenge came on a DVD-ROM. That's what the retail version came on. But the demo disc itself is actually a blue-backed CD-ROM, which is pretty interesting. I just realized that when I was getting ready to show you get this video filmed, so that's pretty neat. I was such a big Burnout head. I still am, so had to have it. This one is kind of cool that I still have in my collection. This here is the God of War Hydra Battle. This was the precursor to God of War being released and really showed off what David Jaffe and his team did. It was just phenomenal. And the big thing around this demo and this game was on the PlayStation forums trying to figure out who could get the biggest combo, the highest combo, the most hits. And I was never close in any of those competitions, so go figure. And of course, God of War is the second game that I had ever played for review that I actually had to marathon and play all the way through because the review was due the next day. I had to buy it myself, and then I had to play through it, and then I had to write a review and post it. So I don't miss those days at all. Also, this is sealed still. This is Shadow of the Colossus. I know this is pretty sacrilegious to say, but I don't care. Eco and Shadow of the Colossus never did anything for me, so I never opened it, but I have the demo just for posterity reasons. And then this here I used to have like 4 of these. This is the Rogue Galaxy demo, because Sony was giving these out like hotcakes because nobody cared about the game. Too bad. And then the last one I can show you is this one here. This is another Square one. This is for Drakengard. Also comes with a preview of Final Fantasy XI and a first look at the sci-fi epic Star Ocean Till the End of Time. So those are some demo discs that I have in my collection, but now it's your turn. If you have any demo discs that you want to talk about or maybe relive when demo discs were a big deal, what they meant to you, feel free to leave them in comments below. Talk about them. Talk about what demo discs meant to you. Did they help you with your buying decisions at all? Did you ignore them? Did you use them as coasters? What did you do with demo discs? What did they mean to you? As for me, they were a great vehicle to really get me excited about games that I wanted to buy, and I do miss them, which is one of the reasons why I still have so many of them sitting here in Retro Central and why I do play them every once in a while. So thanks very much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you guys on the next Retro Unscripted.